So right now there's this resource event drive going on, and I keep on hearing tons of reports of people getting pirated and having their cargo taken and being stuck in combat engagements when maybe they're not used to doing combat in larger ships meant for transport. One of my favorite ships for transport is the Asgard, so I figured I'd go through some videos of me doing duels with individuals and free flight, and hopefully some of the tips I use that have allowed me to take on some really good pilots in the Asgard help you in your situation. So if you notice, I'm fighting this Talon, and this Talon keeps on trying to get behind me, and eventually they have to extend really far out, and it's because I'm using some tactics that normally people may not always be using. One of the things you'll notice is where see it says ESP and gimbaled, or ESP and coupled in the top left-hand corner, right here. I'll actually be toggling this sort of VTOL, my VTOL thrusters on and off. So as I try to get closer to the person, I disable my VTOL, but here the person's past me, he's flared me, I've flared them, they're just shooting me, and I'm using upstrafe. And if you notice what this VTOL toggle has done is my engines are now actually pointed in a 90-degree angle. So this allows me to produce more upstrafe. And look where the opponent is, they're below me, right? So the fastest way to create distance between us is for me to use a very, very strong strafe in the exact opposite direction of where the opponent is, which isn't forward, it isn't back, it isn't side, it's upwards. So I continue to do this boosted upstrafe, and as I lose nose, if I have nose somewhat towards them at like a non-90-degree angle, I'll also add in a little bit of backstrafe, but I try not to dilute the input too much. And I'm using gimbals of 15-15 or 25-15, depending on what I'm feeling like, to be able to shoot him at range. Now, here you'll notice, like here I should swap out a VTOL, and I do, to push him forwards once he's out of 700-meter range, and he used a whole bunch of boost to get out of there, now he's getting tired. So here I use VTOL to be safe to make sure he doesn't get stuck in the slot on me, and I end up being able to take him out. Because versus these ships, if you are a really, really good ace pilot, you definitely can stick on the target, but it's just such an unnatural fight that most people never take, that it just takes a few mistakes and it can be the end for them. And in the PU, you only have to get it to work once to protect yourself from a pirate who may not have all that good experience versus ships like the Asgard. So this is another fight. This one's versus a good PvPer who people who are like in the dueling community know. It's a sanctioned duel. We both flared. It's not like I'm jumping him. He's not jumping me. I use the VTOL. I'm backstrafing. I'm keeping him underneath me. Firing. Trying to fire him on nose. I almost wish I had higher VJoy here to shoot more. And I can tell when he's pushing in and out like that, I know that he's using boost. So I'm not giving up. I'm like, he's going to get tired out and he's going to pull out here in a little bit. I'm running out of boost also. You can see I'm at 20 boost, so I'm running out here, but I keep on getting hits. I'm getting red shields, he's getting red shields, but if he extends, I'm going to start regenning, and I'm regenning shields here, because he's confused. Part of this is just absolute confusion. This is supposed to be an absolute brick of a ship. How is he not able to get behind me? That's what's going through his head. He's like, why can't I get behind this guy? Because this is so unnatural, so there's a shock to the system that happens here. And I'm getting lots of shots on him here because I'm also able to shoot off nose. And I'm making sure I'm rolling so I keep this little tiny pip below me so I can continue firing at him. And I just keep on going to town on it. Another thing you'll notice is, like, you might realize I have a few extra guns and ammo on this ship than other ships. And I can go through why that is a bit of the case. If you have a ship and you have energy weapons on it, a lot of the weapons have a sort of maximum ammo capacity that they can reach. The Asgard, for instance, if you put Panthers or Rhinos or Galderines, which is the CF repeater class of weapons, have a maximum ammo capacity of 75. But the issue is if you divert power, max power to weapons, you have so many weapons on your ship that you can't quite reach 75 ammo capacity. But one of the things you can do to actually increase your ammo capacity is to either substitute weapons for ballistics or to swap out or just take off your energy weapons in general. So one thing to note that transferred from early 4.0 patches to the current 4.0 patch is that turrets take away energy from your ship. So if you're running the Asgard and you know you're going to be running solo, you should actually take off the rhino repeaters or sub them out for ballistic weapons so that you have increased weapon capacitor for your energy weapons as the pilot, unless you're choosing to run ballistics. Now here's another good fight. This is versus like a PvPer, people who are dueling a whole bunch probably have dueled if they do free flight and pretty much no life AC. I know I have. But here, just getting tons of shots in. I'm pitching down when I lose nose, and then I'm okay turning on yaw, and I'm okay pitching up if I regain nose. He's extending a whole bunch here, so you see I turn off VTOL, and I now start up strafing because it's stronger and forwarding towards him. And then as I lose nose, I swap back so I can pitch down and use my up strafe to get away from him. One thing to keep in mind is a lot of this is boost efficiency usage. So if I'm using a weak input or a strong input and I hold down the boost button, I'm using the same amount of boost per second. So I want to create as much space as I can per boost used, and that's done by using your strongest inputs. So this is another really good guy. This guy said nice things about my Asgard. Hopefully not just because I've beaten him, but because I can do some cool things with it. Some people in duels don't oftentimes do, which is good because some people get very angry when I play Asgard like this. So he's pulling out at pretty far distances. He does start to missile lock me, which is would be the end of me, and is fair. I have 97,000 IR, which is a good thing to note. If you are running this ship in the PU, you should run at least one pip to your coolers. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner here, right here, I have 97.5k IR. That would mean it takes like 10 to 20 flares if I even can flare off missiles, if it's even possible to. It may not even be possible to flare off a missile at that point. So you should run one pip to coolers at least if you're running the ship. That should keep your IR down. So I'm fighting this guy. I'm rolling. I'm okay at pitching and shooting on yaw when he's on my nose, just to not disrupt my aim with my roll. But once he gets far, I pitch down, I VTOL. I should turn off VTOL here. I do. I should flip up and up strafe towards him because my up strafe is stronger to get towards him, so I'm wasting some boost here. And I VTOL because he does get off nose, and I keep on pitching down, trying to get shots off, pitching down, using VTOL, back strafing, up strafing. And I just know the process. I know this is the strongest input I can do. It's possible he can just beat me, but this is the best I can do, so I'm going to try to tire him out. And if I'm in a group setting in PU and I do that long enough, if I can at least resist this dude, it might be that someone comes over and is able to help me. So I think I have a Starfarer Gemini video on my channel somewhere, and that exact case happens. And just look at the amount of damage this can do. If the person makes a single mistake, it can be the end for them. So this fight here, this is an atypical fight, so I think this is interesting to run, because if you're running in the PU, there's a good chance that you're going to fight a atypical ship that you don't see in Arena Commander. So you can see that this person, I don't notice this right off the bat, but this is actually the same guy from the last fight, but he's actually running M-series cannons, which are really good against large ships. They do way more damage, like double, triple, or something like that, but they have really slow projectile speed. So what I should be doing is trying to extend from the person at range so I can more so dodge their shots. But I don't really know that, so what I'm trying to do is I'm using VTOL and I'm corkscrewing to make myself an evasive target while shooting my gimbals in the process, and just hoping that I have a little bit more tankiness to fight him. And this is a pretty common ship you might fight, because this could be an A. I don't know if this is an A1 or a C1, but a lot of people like to run A1 bombing ships. So there's a good chance that you might actually find an A1 in the verse, because those are oftentimes used for piracy, griefing, private security, military orgs, whatever it is. Now, you might be like, okay, I'm running the Asgard. The Asgard has, like, no shields if you look at its stats, but one of the interesting things to note about it is its total HP is all right, but its vital hull HP is super large. It has like 20,000 vital hull HP for both its nose and its body. So a lot of the fight that it makes up for in having less shields is made up for its ability to have really good gimbals, its superior maneuverability that is able to have through its VTOL thrusters, and then its really good HP profile that makes it harder to kill than some other ships. Put it this way, it has more vital HP than the Corsair has. I'm not sure if it has more total HP, but it has more vital HP for its vital HP section. I think this is just an extra fight. Let's see if I can skip through it. Oh yeah, so this is fun. So this might happen in the PU. This is why I included this. I'm AFK. I am alt-tabbed doing something else on my computer, right? I record the last 90 seconds of fights oftentimes. I try to have a hotkey. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. You can see I'm not even prepared. I have 2 of my shields are not fully powered. And it looks like I'm running industrial shields based on how there's a minimum needed 3 pips in each of those. And I could be running max shields right now with like 1 pip out of engines. I pop in here and I'm like, oh no. This guy, and this guy's actually, I fought him in AC. He's a decent PvPer, dogfights, and he doesn't expect this Asgard that's AFK that he thinks probably lagging the server is just sitting there, just gonna pop out and just start beating him down. So he's already red nose. I don't even know if he has his profile up to know what his self HP is. He may not know that he's about to pop here, and there he is. He goes. So again, if you're in the PU and you're getting jumped, and it's just one guy, there's a good chance you're not helpless. And if you're not helpless, oh, try to take one down. Take one down with you. So this is a really good PvPer who I fight, and you can tell because he's sticking on me. Right? He's sticking on me. I think I alt tab there also. I don't know what's going on with my game during this one, but I'm already down to shields. Look at my shields in the top left. Completely down on shields. I'm struggling here. He's in my position. I am VTOLing. I am clearly putting in the wrong inputs. My keyboard sometimes randomly disconnects, but given that I have 0 meters per second, I think I'm putting in inputs, and I'm clearly not. Yeah, I clearly am not putting in inputs. So, and I lose an engine here. Do I die here? Okay, I've lost 2 engines here, and I am not moving. And I'm using boost. Oh, man, I gaslit myself on this. Okay, I'm starting to move now. So, this is another good. Maybe you got XV1. Maybe someone got a huge jump on you. They shot off both your front engines with a railgun. This is a fighter. He's a very good PvPer. I'm red those. Maybe he's playing differently now because he thinks I was AFK or something, or maybe he thinks he has the advantages underestimating. Not saying this Asgard is a competitive ship. I think in some ways it might be in different points of view, but from the POV that you're trying to do self-defense in persistent universe, this is a situation where it's like a person might underestimate you, and you might be able to save yourself. So here I'm VTOLing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm out of boost. I am trying to get out of this pocket, and I am struggling. There's something going on with my inputs that aren't going here, but now I'm generating boost. I'm clearly upstrafing, backstrafing, and I'm starting to get nose, and I'm fighting this guy back. And I know from my POV that most of my HP is not into my shields. It's in my hull. And he still could potentially shoot all the rest of his shots into my body and not my nose and not actually kill me. And he's probably a little greedy here. He is greedy here. He doesn't extend knowing that I have nose and have tons of guns that can destroy him in 0.2 seconds. And so I'm able to actually succeed in defending myself. So if I was in the PU, all of a sudden I might go on to continue doing whatever mission is that I needed to do. So, all right. It's another video titled Extra, so it's probably just extra fight here. It's just to further, corroborate that, like, this can work. So, find this guy, we duel, we pass. I'm shooting him. Sometimes that range is a good thing to kind of, like, I sometimes kind of paint the bottom and the top of where the person is shooting to try to make sure I can get pings on them. You'll see in a lot of other PvPers videos that it's like, if you notice that the guy is rolling towards one direction and his pip is moving, so like you can see the pip here is moving from the right to the left, so you want to be leading inside the pip. Another tip is that I don't actually oftentimes hear from others is if you look at this number right here, I got this from doing just ages upon ages of Corsair fighting at long range and squadron battle. If this number right here is negative, you want to aim inside the pip. You want to aim just a little bit inside the pip. We're still green, but inside the pip. Because they're moving away, so this pip is going, like, the shots need to go that way. Versus, like, imagine if you have a target right here, and they're going faster and faster this way. You want to lead in front of the pip, because the pip is moving really fast that direction. So because this guy's moving backwards, and the pip is moving from the right to the left, here I should be trying to aim just about, like, right there or so, something like that. At least that's what I've had success with. And he's at range here, so I disable VTOL. I'm pushing in. I'm using boost. I now should be reactivating VTOL. I'm not, but I'm shooting him down. Up strafing. Here we go. Still up strafing. Pushing in. And usually up strafe is your strongest input on these gunboats, even if you don't have VTOL. So if you're in a Constellation, it still might be worth to do that. A thing to consider also for ships like the Constellation is that you have shield faces. This Asgard that I'm using actually has a shield bubble, which is really great because it means it actually uses 100% of its shields before they go down. It doesn't use like a portion of them, but it also means that it can't regen certain shield faces. So no, that's probably an analysis for another time, but if you're playing a Constellation, the thing you can do is try to rotate on the face that's taking that hasn't taken much damage yet, that way, and then keep another shield from getting shot so it can regen shield HP to extend your lifespan and maybe try to wait for help. So looks like I'm trying to get fights here. I shoot the guy once. I flare. I didn't mean to just have him he might be thinking I'm ganking him, so that's my bad if that's the case. My game freezes here, so that's not a good time for me. And I usually tell that I teleport and then all those bullets shoot at the same time, then I jump. So I'm a little bit down in advantage here, but I think I can come back from it. Here I can tell he's moving backwards, right? You look at that negative 98. So here I'm actually using upstrafe and forward to try to keep up with him, so I can take him down, because I can tell he's playing a bit more flighty. He doesn't want to play positionally up close. In the PU, a lot of people will play more like that because they don't want to risk a really long respawn timer. So you can actually play a lot more aggressive in these larger ships in the PU a lot of the times, even compared to AC where people have respawns. And here you can just see I activate VTOL again once he gets off nose. I'm okay disabling VTOL if I do have nose. I rotate him below me to use the VTOL, and we get him. This one's titled versus anti-large, so I'm assuming this is like versus a heavy fighter with cannons or something. So hopefully I do some power management here. Do I? Yeah, so see here for Arena Commander, I turn off coolers. You should leave at least one pipped coolers there. I maximize power to weapons because you need DPS to win. I maximize power to engines, and then I put as much power I can to shields. It looks like for Asgard, I tend to elect to run industrial shields because I have the power to spare to run them. If I was running this in the PU, I would take one pip off of shields, because that doesn't disable the shield generator, just makes them work not as hard for the purposes of shield regen, and I'd move that to cooler so I'm not getting missile spam, because you can see my IR is climbing right now, so it's going to be very difficult for me to flare off the missiles. Like this one right here. This I very much doubt that I am able to flare. Oh, I am able to. Fortunately, I haven't turned off my cooler for long enough. So it looks like I'm finding a glaive here. So glaive has two really, really large cannons that would be considered like anti-large cannons that do a lot of damage to me. So this, conceptually for a lot of people, they would think that this is maybe a counter to this ship. But because his ship is less maneuverable, in some ways he's easier for me to fight than even light fighters because I can keep my nose on him the entire time. And I'm fairly certain that he just doesn't even maybe have the capabilities of knifing me. He might be able to, but I haven't fought a whole bunch of glaive pilots to know. I know it's harder than Gladius, and a lot of Gladius players struggle in the first place. But same concepts here. I'm actually pushing closer to him, if you notice, with my W key, and when he's up above me, I'm actually using my up strafe to push in, because I'm fairly confident that he's not going to be able to get in that slot around me, so I'm just trying to accelerate the combat engagement so I can kind of be on my way to the next thing. So in a lot of ways, this Asgard, it works like a more mobile gunboat. Again, the shield, having less shields is overstated because there are some things, particularly in 1v1 duels, that having that bubble shield can be really beneficial for, especially with the removal of the nav mode toggle issue, where it's like you could use nav mode to shift your shield faces a whole bunch. Now the bubble shield's even more valuable now that people can't use that. So this guy, he flares me, kind of etiquette. I try to like wait for them to start like BBing me down or shoot more shots, because this clearly isn't like a regular joust pass. So he flares again. I flare. The problem is I'm in coupled mode and he's in decoupled, and I don't think he's arresting his momentum, so I can't really get in a joust line with him. All right, there we go. So we both flare. And again, same thing. He's sticking to me really well. So I'm committing to the upstrafe in upstrafe. And when he gets a little bit more in front of me, I'll start using the backstrafe. You don't want to backstrafe if they're behind you because that actually pushes towards the enemy. You only want to backstrafe once they start becoming visible. Just to like once you know they're out from a little bit behind you. Because I'm confident that that's going to be the hardest input from the counter input. So now he's faced with the issue is, does he run really far or does he push and it's too late? And it's hard for him to commit to one and he gets taken out. So we'll take another video here. Here, he's doing the same thing, but here he's corkscrewing at range, so I don't turn off VTOL soon enough. Here you can see I might be a little bit cautious that I don't want to overextend and then just give him a free slot position behind my ship, because you can stick in that slot as a light fighter if you know how to knife fight well enough. So I might be being cautious of that in this case, but I should be turning off my VTOL and pushing more in retrospect. I can see he's like maybe trying to pre-nose or something. He's doing some strange maneuvers, and I'm just trying to aim inside of that corkscrew pattern that he has. I should be aiming ahead of the pip a little bit more, but it doesn't matter. Ends up getting got. Here's another one. Looks like the end of a fight. Hopefully this isn't an entire fight. Just looks like another glaive. It looks like he's able to do some big damage to my shields here, and it looks like I'm struggling to take him out because he has a lot of HP. But end up getting him here. There's another one. Nah, there's not. So, well, that's all of my Asgard videos from this series. But if you have any questions, let me know. You can either contact me on Discord or message me in the comments below, but hopefully this gives you some tools, at least one thing from here that can help you if you're flying a cargo ship in the PU. Most cargo ships have really good gimbals, and a lot of them have VTOL thrusters, and even if you just know a couple of these tricks, a lot of pirates are really used to fighting people who have no combat experience at all, so you have a lot of firepower on a lot of these cargo ships, so if you're able to just surprise them for a second, sometimes that's all you need to really sort of repel them and give yourself enough time to get away. So, well, that's all.